don't come again. Nah, blockbuster. That's it. All right, man, guys. Welcome to the industry episode 10. 10 full weeks, of suffering. I haven't been to church.
I was like, actually, wait, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
I haven't been to church, I've only been to church once this year. Very shameful. And I used to be a choir director of the sorts. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have Laoye and Iwara. Okay, let me not say AK. I don't want to expose you on the internet.
Yes, please. Before I get fired.
But you guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate you guys for not going to church. Ever you don't go to church?
Mom, I went for first mass.
You lie.
6:30 mass. I think.
Wow. Yeah. But it's the 10th episode, and just before we go into what we wanted to, Aladese says she doesn't watch my podcast, so I'll put you on the spot. Why don't you watch my podcast?
I've been away. I just got back. I totally just got back. So I feel like I'm still... Wait, no. So I'm still settling back in, getting the swing of things, catching up on everything that I missed out of the way. So yeah, that's why.
Okay. But anyway, I just want to say congrats. I haven't watched Knockout Blessing, but I've seen your show reel. 2 days ago, Ebenezer was like, hey, look, show reel. Oh my God. Didn't say anything. Anyway, Effa, yes, everybody knows Effa from Ajoche. That's why I brought Ade, so that nobody will say I brought all my Ajoche family, because it's really whoa. Anyway, but moving on.
Wait, sorry. Before we go too far, I think your performance in Knockout Blessing was really amazing. Yeah. I hope you get tons and tons of nominations. It's really I think that's actually my favorite movie in the last 1 year. Knockout Blessing.
Really? I need to actually go see it though.
Yeah, it's really. I saw it with George. It was really good. Yeah. Really good. You're welcome.
But before we go into the reason why you guys are here, we usually talk about things that happen in the week. But nothing interesting happened in Nollywood today, but something happened in the music industry. And this was how they dragged Vector I better pass my neighbor generator. Yes. So, let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. Ladies first. Please, have you heard Emma's response?
I have. Okay, I'm not like a rap head or hip hop head or anything like that, but I always feel like deep down, this is just like a publicity stunt. I'm like, are they releasing a single together? Is that what's about to happen? Is that what's going on?
I don't think so.
No, but I heard it, and Twitter is the best. I just love Twitter, because on Twitter, people all the hot takes that people they dragged Vector.
My best one was that they dragged him I better pass my neighbor generator. That's the worst.
So for me, I'm always just okay, this beef thing, right? What are we trying to prove, really? What's this really about? And I feel I never quite understand that whole hip hop battle thing. I don't understand.
Effa, by the way, used to be a musician. So, he's a rapper, he rap and sing now, bros.
No, that singing is very dodgy. I've heard James sing, so I've done that. I don't put rapper. I don't test them. Praise can sing. Tim Dakolo can sing. I can hit a few notes in the studio.
That's it. What do you think?
Okay, so it's kind of weird for me, because these are two of my friends. People actually know that's Larry and Jude. Yeah. But
I like the way. Yeah, I like. Sorry. I'm still on. Just help me switch off the. Did you help me switch off the sound bar? Yeah. No, yeah. So I like the way. I like the way. It's not off. Is it off?
No, I'll put it off.
Yeah, so, I like the way that MI constantly calls him Larry.
But wait. But that's his name. But I feel like this thing has been going on for years. It's been bubbling under, and Vector is a good rapper. Yeah. MI is a very good rapper, in my opinion. So it's going to be fun. But people keep on forgetting that, look, rap is a very competitive sport. It's all love, but really, most rappers try to be number one. I mean, you look at Tupac, Biggie, you look at Jay-Z, Nas, over the years. So it's all fair, So they should. I feel like as long as there's no violence, they should go at each other. I think Vector's tetracycline was cool. But as of now, I feel like MI is ahead. But today is Sunday, and I believe
there's a response.
Vector is a response coming out. So
yeah, but I feel like
don't rule Vector out yet.
I feel like Vector shouldn't respond. As in because let me explain. You know how Eminem. If you've seen 8 Mile, you've seen 8 Mile? You know when this guy was he was going against Papa Doc and he insulted himself.
Yeah.
Like after I finished insulting himself, like what else do you want to say to top what? So this thing that MI has done, what else do you want to say to top what MI has said? That you sleep in your babe's BQ.
No, but wait.
And then BBQ.
Okay.
You are roasting in your babe's BQ, BBQ. I don't like this producer.
Okay, wait.
Yo, this is history, man.
No, now hold on. First and foremost, you can't. Now this is rap. You don't know for sure if this is true, but it sounds cool. It sounds like it sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, MI went in. MI knows the rules of battle. Like he really went in. Now, case in point. Remember Pusha T and Drake? Pusha shot first. Drake came back heavy, and then Pusha came out and boom. I'm a huge Drake fan. Drake went quiet. Pusha won. Sadly. Now, this guy shot first. MI has come out with this fire track. Let's hear Vector. Like, to be honest, I don't think Vector can top it. But what if he does? What if he does?
But there were
like to what end? Like what's the prize here? What are we winning? Street cred? Clout? What?
Like bragging rights. Like so you can go on. Like I remember when Olamide dropped a song. I can't remember what it's called on I think 2 albums ago. And he said, look, I'm the biggest rapper out there. And he said, look, I've sold out Echo Hotel, sold out, I think the O2, sold out, shut down Mali, shut down this. I've outsold you. I'm selling out Stadia. Talk. Everybody kept quiet. Like, I'm talking, everybody did like this.
Yeah, but my point is, so last thing I'll say about this, like, MI has already, I don't like this, MI producer. I can't talk about MI. So anyway, MI has said it all. Like, he's like, look, you're not even making money. Like, I'll give you money to start a label. Like, what? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you want to say again?
No, but once again, this is all talk.
Until
Jude cashes a check of 20M and puts it down. Like, when you do that,
Vector and MI, they're still trending on Twitter too.
Like, it's good for 2 of them. I feel like, their next projects are going to pop. Judah is coming out. I think MI's project is coming out. I think Vector should put out a project as well.
Like I said, it's good publicity. No such thing as bad publicity. So like at the end of the day, if it's translating to money in the bank accounts, I'm down for it.
All right. Okay, cool, guys. Okay, so let's switch from music to the reason why we're here. Thank you so much, Tenny. Thank you. Rubbish. Anyway, so again, I've got Laoye and Iwara in the studio or in my house. It's not a studio. Why do you keep saying the studio? It's not a studio. It's my house. It's not my house. My office. Because people say it's my house. Hey, God damn it. Anyway, so I'm going to read both their bios. I'll start with the ladies first, Effa, because she's sitting right next to me and it's quite, this is a lot.
Sexism in the workplace. I keep talking about
whatever. Laoye is a trained actor and versatile performer. She studied theater arts at the Pennsylvania State University. Oh my gosh. And has credits spanning across stage, TV, web, and film. She has performed with prestigious theaters such as the Walnut Street Theater, I don't know where that is, and the Ardent Theater Companies in Philadelphia and Off-Broadway Company Theater Works USA in the New York City. She's also a teaching artist. I've seen a couple of, I think you did something with, sorry?
With Diana?
No. Yeah, Diana. Yeah. And Tokpa was also there. Which is a good thing, by the way. I love sharing knowledge. So, yeah, chop knuckle. She's also a teaching artist passionate about using the arts as a tool to educate. She is a co-founder of the Red Deal Actors Workshop. Real Deal. Hey, my glasses. Real Deal. Actors Workshop, an intensive training workshop for aspiring actors. She starred as Oye in the smash hit telenovela Hush, which I watched, by the way, but I didn't finish. Hush, which earned her an African Magic Viewers' Choice Award nomination for Best Actress in a Drama Series. She became a household face as a presenter, producer, on Ebony Live TV's daily entertainment news show EL Now. Other notable credits include roles in Saro the Musical, Waka the Musical, The Tribunal, Castle and Castle, Knockout Blessing, and Flat 3B by Victor Sanchez. Give it up for We need to pay for applause, Tenny. We need sponsors, man. Sponsors. By the way, today's episode is sponsored by water. Oh, sorry. Where's water from? It's not my house. Oh, sorry. Okay, Efa Iwara is from Ugep. I said it right?
Ugep, yeah.
Ugep.
Okay. Yeah.
Graduated from the University of Ibadan, actor and rapper by day, superhero by night. But please don't call Efa because he can't save you. He has been on projects such as Ajoche, TMC, Rumor Has It, and is presently filming one of those TV shows. Yeah.
I feel somehow, why is Efa's bio like 3 lines?
lines.
I was like, wow. My Obasabi was really plenty. I was like, okay, bio, okay. Let me.
I feel like. I feel like.
Efa doesn't want to sell his market.
No, I feel like you meet different versions of me at different times in my life. Like, rediscover me every time. I feel like
Efa, I think you're proud. You know, you're proud.
No.
I'm killing your character.
No, next year, you figure something out.
Okay.
Something new.
I've done 11 minutes. 10, just 11 minutes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having us.
Sorry, I didn't complete. Efa is present filming on Broken.
Yeah.
That show that he's on that I'm producer on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I have a couple of questions, and basically we're going to be talking about being an actor in Nollywood, which is something. And I mean, I'm not even going to be speaking. I'm pleased. I'm not speaking as a producer. I'm speaking as James hosting the industry. So feel free to whatever. But I feel like there's always been some disconnect with actors and producers. I feel like there are two sides to a story, and you know, producers have a way of doing things actors probably don't understand. Actors have a way of doing things producers don't understand. So it just feels like these actors safe. From the actor side, these producers safe. I remember one time I tweeted something after I watched Game of Thrones, and I figured out that I found out at the because there's this documentary that they had shot the 3rd episode, the one where they fought
the White Walkers.
The White Walkers. They had shot that thing for 59 nights. And I tweeted something and I was like, you know, I just saw that these guys shot this thing for 55 nights. And I said something about how many Nollywood actors can do that. Like, it wasn't really a shade, but I knew I was coming from. It wasn't a generalization, but I was like, how many actors can do that? And I said that because we had just come off a set where we had done 8 nights back to back, and a couple of I don't know if I should say this, but anyway, long and short story, some people were like, oh my gosh. So that was really where I was coming from. And then a lot of Nollywood actors came and they were like, what are you talking about? You're not paying me enough money, and all that stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody had whatever it is that they want to say, but that's why I said, you know what, let's have a conversation with the actors and let's see where their mind is at. So my first question to both of you is, how has it been acting? Sorry, Efa is not feeling well. Yeah. Sorry. Drink water. Drink water.
No, sorry. I actually can't have the water because Tenny put something in it.
Yeah, love potion.
Yeah, I really can't. I swear. That's what you call it.
Okay. So how has it been acting in the Nollywood space? What have been your experiences like? Let me speak to and look, I know that all of us are struggling. We're struggling. That's it. So yeah, how has it been?
So you gave me an easy out because how's it been? I don't have to commit one way or the other. Let me just tell you. No, but it's been a mixed bag. I've been back it'll be 7 years by December since I moved back. It's had its ups and downs. No regrets, definitely. Like, no regrets. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot as a performer and just as a person. I think where I am right now, because you kind of come back you come back all starry-eyed and bushy-tailed and think, oh, I'm going to change the industry.
You don't know what that means.
You don't know why it's going on. You don't know why it's going on.
You know? So, yeah, I'm not, I won't say I'm cynical just yet, but I have lost a lot of my idealism. And you just kind of have to deal with reality. The truth is, we have a long way to go, and we have a lot of work to do. And so instead of complaining about, okay, all the problems, how can I be a solution? And that's sort of the space that I'm in right now, even with like my training program is like, okay, how can I fix or help to fix something that I see
This question
that
this
is
is
a
like
problem?
Very political.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been hard. It's been very challenging, and sometimes I feel like Nigeria doesn't deserve me.
Ooh, Emma, I'm still coming back to that question because I feel like you guys are being politically correct. This is the industry. We don't go.
First of all, who writes this for you? I know. I saw Jay. Jay, we're together. We both can't write very well. So let me be serious and talk about how's the industry been. I think people look at the film industry like it's not a workspace, and I'll explain. In the banking industry, there are problems, there are setbacks, there in engineering, whether you work for an oil company, those things happen. Yeah. So when you look at the Nigerian film industry, you have to look at it from, I won't say the bottom, I'll say from the top. You can't compare, and now let me not even bring it home. And James is here. You can't compare Ajoche with Game of Thrones. Because they're two very different budgets, two very different environments, two very different markets. Like, we're probably selling to just Africa. They are selling to the world. There's 7 billion people, so it's like trying to play in a different league. You can't compare them. So I understand actors wanting so much more. I think we deserve so much more. But at the same time, you can't go to meet someone whose project he's just trying to sell it to, let's say, a few terrestrial TV channels, and he has, let's say, a budget of 100 naira. And you say, man, I can only take 90 naira. And then the person is struggling. The person says, I really want to work with you. I give you 90 naira. Then because of that, they have only 10 naira to work on set design, sound, and then the project comes out crappy, and then you're upset. I feel like if you see this scope as an actor, and you're like, okay, this doesn't work for me, kindly just back out and say, you know what, I'm not a part of this. As opposed to, I feel like people always whine. People always say, oh, production is the devil. I feel like when you produce your own movie and you're on that other side, you see things very, 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 very differently. So the state of things in Nigeria, in Nollywood, they're not great. Yeah. But I feel like it's heading somewhere. There are different stratospheres. There are the guys who are just terrestrial, guys who are on cable TV, guys who are going to the cinema, guys who are going to some big, huge online platforms, let's say Netflix or whatever. So I feel like there are different levels to this, there are different problems. Let's pick our battles and fight them.
Okay, so here's another question that I'm going to ask, because y'all niggas is just being politically correct.
How is that? No, how is that political?
I know there's a question you want to ask.
No, but how is that political?
You need to ask one question, but let me jump straight into. So here's the thing. Sometimes I'm on Twitter and then people are like, "Oh, this shitty director, you didn't even pay me X amount of money. Or you didn't pay me this much money to do this." Even with that, my tweet that I sent out, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because you don't pay me this much money." Fun fact: I was doing a movie with Efa, and something happened in the scene. So I said, I was directing, and I told the girl, I'm like, yeah. So when you grab Efa, like kiss him, and then she goes, "Oh no, you're not paying me enough to do that." I'm like, okay, don't worry, just hug.
When did this one?
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember.
I said, okay, no, fine, that's right. Just hug him. When you're done, that's it. Just for one scene. So, but I get these things where actors are always like, oh, you're not paying us enough, blah 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 blah. And I've had conversations with actors, and they're like, oh, if only productions would pay us enough. There are producers who are, cheating us on X, Y, Z. Brings me to my next question, which is, what are the challenges that you face with remuneration, and then treatments, which still is part of my first question, because you guys are being politically correct. But what have been your experience? What has been, right, your experiences in terms of all the productions that you've been on? You don't have to mention names, but in terms of how they treat you. Last, if they're not paying you, it treats me right. But what are the challenges that you faced? Remuneration, how they treat you, and all around how I feel about certain productions that I've been on.
Okay. For starters, if you're offering me 200 naira for a role, and I accept 200 naira for the role, I don't think I have the right to complain. because
like
but that is how I work. You can ask anybody that I've worked with. That I've never said that you're not paying me enough. The moment I accept the job and I accept this fee, you've paid for my services. If I didn't think it was enough, then I wouldn't take the job. I'd sit at home and play FIFA. FIFA 20.
There are a lot of people that think like you.
Yeah, but that's life. I mean, different people have different mindsets, and when it comes to treatment, shamefully, I'm not high maintenance, man. Just feed me. I mean,
James, I was going to say you've entered one chance. The people you called on this your show because
you guys are all nice guys.
it's not.
no, but I don't think it's about being
I feel
nice.
like we're.
Professional. If I'd say professional is the word.
I don't know that we're representative of the typical Nollywood actor. And what I mean by that is, because I didn't start acting in Nigeria. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had a whole other career in the States before I moved back. And because I trained and because I worked outside of Nigeria in industries that are, in an industry that's more structured, there are a lot of bad habits that they knock out of you early. So when you go into the workforce, you know that, okay, this is work. Like, this is my career. So coming into that, like, I brought that same work ethic into Nigeria. So for me, I'm actually very selective about the kinds of projects that I do. So I don't just do every job. I'm an energy vibe person. Like, who's directing, who's producing. Like, I love even knowing those things because it kind of affects how I feel about the project. Yeah. So even if the money is not great, I will do it because it's so and so that asked me to do it, or because it's so and so's project.
But let me ask you something. I'm on you now. So here's the thing.
Sorry, what?
No, I'm not on her. Like, I'm talking to her. Wow.
No, I can't stop.
So I've had an actor say to me, I've had an actor on Twitter say, yeah, producers don't even provide green room, don't even provide trailers for their actors. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? You know, and they're like, oh, somebody has said to me before, on a particular project, I'm trying to remember what she said. She was like, oh, that, the least you guys can do is, when I come, people need to smile at me. When I do the work that I need to do, they need to respect that I'm doing the work. I don't like, somebody cannot be rushing me. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think? Like, what? Now my point is, these are things that are happening with actors. I'll tell you something else. So I feel like a lot of actors don't understand why they are actors. I think a lot of actors think that being an actor is about celebrity status. Like, I want to be a celebrity. That's really what it is. And if they're not in it for the art, which is why I'm trying to find out, is this behavior justifiable? Are you justified? Is it that, the producers aren't doing enough? Which is why I'm asking you these questions in terms of, like, how are these producers treating you? I've heard some mad stories. I'll give you an example. Somebody on a group that I'm on says, oh, I'm shooting a music video. I'm sorry if I'm calling you out if you watch this. It's not you. I'm not going to mention your name, but yeah. So I'm shooting a music video. Pay is 2K to be an extra. Do you understand? Now, there are people who obviously see this as, it's an opportunity, but it's 2K. Like, what if I'm coming from a Kotu Egbe? Do you understand? If I come, you pay me $2,000. No, I'm just, yeah. Here's my point. No, it's two sides to it. If I do accept to take it, then I've accepted to take it. But you do know that there are people who some people do it for the passion, some people do it because, I need some money, but it's 2K and it's a way for me to blow, but that's what it is. So I'm coming from, both of you experienced like really bad treatment? Yes, you're doing it for the culture. Oh, I'm doing it for, yes, they've knocked out all this, diva attitude from me, but I really want to do the job. But then you now met shitty producers who treated you like trash. What were those experiences? Because you can't tell me that you went on set because I'm a professional now. They will not keep you from a 7 o'clock call time till 6 p.m. And in your mind, you're just like, I'm good. yeah, what? I'm okay. Do you want to shoot at 12 a.m.? Okay. I'm here. Okay. That's not possible. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
I understand, but I think it's about addressing the issue as it comes up. Yeah. So things are not always ideal on set. Denny, when we were shooting, something, there are times when the scheduler will just schedule nonsense. And you have a 6:30 a.m. call time. You're there because professional, and you don't shoot until 6 p.m. Now, it happens. Production is production. We understand. So I'm like coming from a mindset of production. Things happen. They have to move scenes around last minutes. RMD had to be around and he has to leave at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It happens. I understand. My thing is, when it happens, address it. Do we have to fight? Do we have to punch each other in the face? No. We talk about it, or working out a compromise. Can you call me an hour? I'll be in the area. Call me an hour before you need me so that I can be there on time. So I feel like these things they're not difficult to. If the food is being served and you don't like it, talk to who can fix the problem. I don't eat this kind of food. It doesn't help me perform my best. I don't think any producer in their right mind, if approached with like decency and respect, would be like, who do you think you are? Some people are crazy, but and the way I solve that, guess what? I pack my own lunch to set. I make my smoothies and I make my salads and I'm okay. So problems will always arise, but I think having decency and respect, because at the end of the day, we want to create this project. We want everybody to be happy. I think it's when people start getting rude and ridiculous that it's kind of like, okay, relax, calm down. So I've been lucky, Shao. Yeah, James, I've been lucky. I've worked with some pretty cool people on the Pretty Woman project. So I don't know. I've been all right. I can't think of any like horrible experience that I've had.
To be honest, I don't think I could have said it any better. I think she pretty much touched on everything. I mean, it's really not a fight. I feel like the moment that you realize that the production is not your enemy, and they also don't see you as their enemy. I think there are times I've worked with James, and I didn't like how things were happening. Like when we're sunburnt, and I was like, I was like, James, umbrella. Just,
like
you know what I'm saying? But we laughed about it. It wasn't as if he too was not burning inside the sun.
Right.
I was burning it. They
didn't buy the umbrella.
They didn't buy. When I was there, but I know that it wasn't because they are bad people and they're trying to cook us.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
James is not wicked.
It happened.
Who says I'm not wicked?
Well, James, we've actually not worked together yet. So actually, I'll be like, actually, like,
sorry,
the worst.
No, it's cool. Let's keep going. This is what happens on the podcast. My light goes up. They change the battery, and we keep recording. Yeah. Change it.
I mean, it happens. Like you said, once you realize that on both sides nobody is the enemy, then you guys will find that perfect middle ground.
Okay, so my second half of the question, which is, so yeah, you guys don't have any issues with all these challenges. You guys are all, it's all good. But based on what you've experienced, how can things be better? Based on what you've experienced, basically, how can working conditions for actors be better across board?
First.
Okay. I feel like just off the top of my head, two things are involved. First of all, let's use the example of a trailer. An actor wanting a trailer. What's the budget for the film? I think the price of getting a trailer is probably the budget of an average Nigerian film in its entirety. So how realistic is it to get a trailer? You know what I'm saying? So if the budgets for movie production was higher, I think people would get treated a lot better on set. I think so. I mean, that's if production does their due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're operating this way at 100 naira, if you're at 200, I'd like to think, because there are sets, projects have been called to do and they say, oh, what would you like to eat? What don't you eat? Stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And like, oh, wow.
Like the fact that surprises you, like, wait, somebody actually cares about
me. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you allergic to? What are you not allergic to? I remember earlier on in my career, you're going for a shoot and they tell you, bring your own clothes. I used to hate that, but
Yep.
luckily now, God, we don't have to bring our own clothes. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, what's your size? Coming for a fitting. You know, all those things are good. So I feel like the higher the budget is, the better the value of production. Now, on the actor's side, I think going back to what she said, being able to communicate. Because even like now from here, I'm going to go and fight someone. I've literally changed those. I'm going to go and fight someone.
For money?
Right? No, not about money.
Okay.
It's something else. I'm going to answer. Yeah, but this person is my friend. You know, like I'm laughing about it, but we're going to have a fight. But we're going to laugh at the end of the fight. So knowing how to communicate, like, okay, so you want me to shoot for, let's say a couple of weeks. Let's say you're on a strict diet. Let's say you're on no carbs. For someone like me who cooking in Nigeria for me, because when I used to cook in France. So cooking for me in Nigeria is a bit tough, you know, the weather and all. And then you now come and say, okay, you're going to be eating noodles in the morning, rice in the afternoon, and at night. You know what I'm saying? It's a conversation I think we should have. So it's just like, what can we do? Okay, we don't have that kind of budget. Okay, no, can I subsidize? Can I give you money to just help me sort that out? So dialogue, communicate, and I think things will get a lot better.
I feel like there are many layers to this because it spans kind of across, like a chain of command, not chain of command, chain of whatever. Because from negotiating actors' fees to actors' general comfort and well-being on set, to production budget, to pre-production work, because a lot of things can be sorted out in pre-production, like you said, like just even knowing my measurements before I come on set, you know, knowing. I don't think I've ever been on a set here where, for example, a makeup artist even knows about my character. Like, they've not read the script, so they're asking me, okay, so what look do you want? And I'm like, I don't understand. This is not my, like, I'm here to act. Yeah. So you should have done your mood board. You should have done character breakdown, all of those things. So I feel like communication across the board needs to be so much better. And I think everybody just taking their job seriously. Yeah. It's not just, I'm just here to do makeup, and then I now do bridal makeup for all of the women on set. So I'm like, even just be taking pride in your work. Like, okay, character A and character B, just because they're both women doesn't mean they should have the same eyebrows. You know what I mean? And, you know, we could even talk about, like, even the function of the unions. Like, unions should be having a lot. Do we even? We have. We have. But we have. But. And guilds and go. Yeah, I'm like, the guilds. I'm like, okay, a lot of the conversations that actors are having, we shouldn't be having those conversations, because there should be just a standard, there should be a minimum, a base level of treatment that just happens across the board.
I feel like that problem, to solve that problem, you have to solve like a bigger problem. For you to solve that problem, you have to solve a bigger problem. But anyway, we'll move. We'll get there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna let Tenny ask one question before I move into my next. There's a. I feel like there's a question that's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's touching you.
It's
No. You know what? For the first time, let's see. We need to see our producer.
Why?
Because
Okay, so this is a two-layered question.
Can you see her?
First of all, what are your thoughts about casting in Nollywood in general? Casting in Nollywood. That's the first layer. Second one is there.
First layer.
Yeah. First layer of one question. And then the second one is there have been talks that a bunch of producers and directors cast actors based off of social media influence.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
Who do you want to answer first?
I did.
Well,
that's a secret weapon, arsenal.
I've actually been affected by this because I've lost 2 jobs because I didn't have enough following, like enough followers on Instagram, and it was confirmed. Like, they told me, they're like, we liked you, but your numbers.
Oh, they told you?
Oh yeah. One person told me. Another person I heard from somebody else who was involved in the production. They were like, oh, your audition was amazing. Like, if I could, I would have given you the job, but, numbers. And I'm like, Okay then. It's annoying. Yeah. It's really annoying. Not because, but it's a business. So I feel like you can't take it personally as well. Actors, we audition. That's our job. Sometimes you don't get the job because you're too short. The leading man is tall, and I'm short. Yeah. So I can't take it personally. Yeah. I understand that they want to sell tickets. My question is, does the research support that because somebody has X amount of following or I can't speak English. Followers, that actually translates to ticket sales? Yeah. I don't know if the research supports that. I understand how it looks, but just because you get 1,000 likes on a picture, are those 1,000 people, are they buying tickets? Okay, or is it just that your marketing is bomb?
So I'm going to let F answer, but I'm going to speak from two sides.
Okay.
I'm going to speak from two sides of this. I'm going to speak as a producer and as a business guy. And then I'm also going to... So I'm going to speak for and against the competition, but let me hear you talk.
First of all, when it comes to casting, I think that's entirely up to the casting director, the producer. As an actor, you can only go in there and do your best, and and just hope for the best. Hope that you actually get it. But about the numbers, it's something that I have thought about, and truth be told, I feel it's common knowledge that some people get picked because they have the numbers, but I don't necessarily fault that, and I'll explain. So if you're as a producer, you're making a movie, producer/director, and you have two actors, you have Jon Snow, and you have John Hamatan. Now, John Hamatan is a fantastic actor and he has 5,000 followers. Jon Snow is not as good. It's just basic, but he has 50,000 followers. Depending on the kind of movie you want to make. If it's not some emotional, really deep, if it's just a pretty okay film, and you want some awareness for free, and you know that from his 50,000, but it's the truth. I mean, because if you take the 5,000 guy, no, actually not for free. Yeah, you want some awareness. The truth is, if you put a guy who has 5,000 followers on a billboard, and you put a guy who has 50,000, the 50,000 know him. There's the slight chance that they might be a bit more interested in the movie. So marketing-wise, I understand it. So now my take is, as opposed to not being happy with that system, I'd say 5,000 guy, you know what? Grow your numbers. Like build up so that when it comes to the next audition and it's you against that 50,000 guy, you're on 40,000 and like, you know what, look, I'll take that 10,000 less for this guy because this guy is killing it. So as opposed to like maybe fighting the system or being upset with the system, I'm like, you know what, why not just work? Just work at something, grow your numbers and be that guy.
Okay, so here's my argument for. Now, again, it's a business, right? So sometimes sometimes those decisions are backed by other things and other things and other things. So for instance, I make a movie. Again, the biggest issue is I don't have enough money for P&A. So the quickest way for me to create awareness is to find an actor who has the numbers on Instagram, because I feel like if you post a trailer, on Instagram, it gets more views and more people get interested. It's kind of thing that they do on Instagram now with music. So I'm begging MI. I'm like, MI, I beg. Just help me post this, my song. There are more people that will listen to your song because MI posted it than some random guy posted it. It's why people go to Instablog Nigeria to please advertise. Do you understand what I mean? Instablog Nigeria. No vex, don't be afraid. Do you understand my point? Now, it's also the same way the old marketers used to do it back in the day. That's why they had Genevieve Iwara and so on and so forth. Because yes, it wasn't social media, but it was, people knew who these people were. So if I put them in my movie, it will work. And I'll take it to the international scenario where it may not even be faces, but it may just be moments. So I'll give you an example. The new Star Wars film that's coming out, Rise of Skywalker, the first trailer that came out, they showed all these nice things and everything, and at the end of the trailer, there was Emperor Palpatine's voice. Now, they didn't say it was Emperor Palpatine's voice. He laughed. Like, people were freaking out. And that was the reason why they were going to watch it. So it's all part of marketing. Yeah. However, now, I feel like sometimes it's lazy P&A. So I'm like, there are actors who can from nobody they can become somebody. Example is John Boyega. John Boyega first time who knew who John Boyega was. Yeah. Jonathan, they put him in a movie, he did well, they promoted the life out of that guy, and before you know it, boom. There are people who you can grow. Yeah. But primarily you're looking at them because they are great performers. Yeah. There are other ways. Yeah, the guy has 2 followers on Instagram, so what the fuck? Like, what can happen is you can do some alternative promoting, and then people now start to focus on the guy. A better example, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. It's like Jacques Phoenix or whatever. I don't know. That the Joker.
Don't do that. James, don't do that. James, don't do that. Don't do what? Do you know who Joaquin Phoenix is?
No. See. Do you know?
Hey!
But
can I just go?
No, you're not getting my point.
Joaquin?
No. Wait, now. Let me explain. You know that we've known him from The Gladiator. We've seen
walked the line.
No, that was
Oscar and Reese Witherspoon. Play Johnny Cash.
Wait now. Here's my point. Do you know that there are a lot of people that don't even know? Wait. Can I be honest with you? Do you know that there are not? I can bet you. Ask anybody just go to the street and ask any random person that do you know who this Joaquin Phoenix guy is. They'll tell you. They would think that Joker was his first movie. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's done. What's that one that he fell in love with some AI? He's done her. He's done a couple of other movies. You understand? The first time I saw him was in The Gladiator. Like, when I saw him, I was like, I know this guy now. Yeah. But there are people who will be like, I don't know who this guy, and I bet you.
Fun fact: he was actually supposed to be Doctor Strange, but because he doesn't like all these media, like all this MCU, all this Comic Con. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. So he pulled out and he
even did. What's that spoof nonsense that he did? That it was as if he had lost his mind. It was a documentary about him. It was about a character.
Well, he's one of those weird guys.
He's not one of those weird guys. So my point is, I bet you, if he's on social media now, his numbers would have gone up because of the Joker. Yeah. Did you get my point? So my point is, there are tons of people like that who, we're doing alternative P&A and this is what it is. So I'm always for and against. Yeah. I've never chosen anybody because of social media numbers. I'm sorry. Do you get? The best I'll do is, you have numbers, do what you can. I'll reach alternative sources to publicize the movie, but that's what it is.
And I'm going to say as well, from the actor's standpoint, it's also about what kind of actor do you want to be? Yeah. Which is why I'm like, for me, I don't take a lot of things personally, because I'm like, would it be nice to have been in that project? Yeah, sure, great. But at the end of the day, I'm concerned about the craft. And if slaying on Instagram is not really my thing, not that I'm against it.
No, that's not true.
It's not.
Yeah, you have some really dope pictures.
I mean, I'm cute, so Yeah. But there's a certain, to get said numbers, there's a certain level of work that goes into keeping that up that I don't have it. I'm trying, but I don't have it.
I feel like actors in Nigeria, I'm sorry. Look, I feel like actors in Nigeria, they stress themselves. Like, because sometimes I'm on. So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. So I'm scrolling through Instagram, right? And there's this actor. Yeah, on set. Yeah, shooting. I'll see you Monday. Tuesday on another set. Bikers Forum. Wednesday, the boy is mine. Thursday, soft work. Then you will now DM me and say you're looking for work. Sir, based on your Instagram, this thing, you have work now. I'm sorry. Meanwhile, what they're doing is they're probably taking pictures of productions that they've done months ago. Like, I feel like, like you said, actors have to keep up. Like, you have to, like, oh my gosh, Instagram, I have to know what you're doing. And I'm like, dude, man, you want to say something?
But if that's...
I know you want to say something.
But if that's what, in a sense, the industry rewards, you can see the incentive for that. Because if it's like, if I have 200,000 plus followers, producers will be calling me to cast me, then that's the incentive for that.
I will, to be honest, I don't pick those Instagram.
But there are producers that do.
I don't do
James,
it.
that's you. I
There
said
are
they're
producers that
But
like
no,
they write when they're casting. And Tenny, back me up on this. They literally write your following, like next to your name.
No, but
There's
guys,
a chart. There are some people
no,
that
but
don't
guys,
cast.
but guys, no, but guys, once
If you don't
again,
have like,
no, but guys, once again, I'm kind of with James on this one. I feel like as a producer,
yeah,
you have your aim, your end game, and if you
Yes.
choose to go that route,
yes.
I honestly don't see anything like
Oh, no,
like
make your money,
Like,
no,
yeah,
by
like
all means.
if
Like,
Tenny
nobody's
is doing a
saying-
film, like right now, Tenny
Yeah.
was telling me about this pornographic movie that she's trying to shoot. Yeah, so kind of like yeah, and she was like, oh, Effa, she was like, Effa, I want you to play, but I think
We measured you and you're not.
yes. So
You
she
have
said,
been-
oh. So she said, "Oh,
been found wanting.
there's this other actor that I think is bigger than you, and also has a larger following. Keyword larger. So it's up to her. It's her decision to make, and I
Which
feel
is
like,
why you
yeah.
can't take it personally, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I
goes
feel
back
like
to
you
my
shouldn't.
point of
Yeah.
like.
You shouldn't.
You have some things are not in your control and not in your power, and you need to let that go. And you also need to decide the kind of actor that you want to be.
Yeah.
If you're about the alter project, say like I'm about the craft and I just wanna, I want to do one good deep movie a year versus being in like 20 projects a year, it's your choice to make.
Find that. Find.
that's
I feel like you should find that sweet middle ground.
Yeah.
Don't be too artsy. Don't be too pop. Just
Okay, quick question. The last question for the day. I had like 2 other questions, but let me just ask this question. So, what's your take on multiple jobs? So you're doing 2 jobs at the same time. Ever, this is not an attack on your person. Just so you know. But like, honestly, like, why?
I think in a lot of ways it's a symptom of one of the problems that we have in the industry. Because it's not like, we get royalties on projects, and because production, people are trying to make ends meet. So I feel like I get it. Yeah. People are trying to survive. Like, you don't know when the next job is going to come. So you're almost trying to like just rack them up because you don't know how many months will go by before your next gig. So part of the larger issue is that a lot of these jobs are not sustainable. So you kind of have to just keep working in order to pay your bills. In my experience, it's happened where productions will just clash. Like sometimes people will change dates at the last minute and it clashes with something else. In that sense, I'm like, okay, I'm committed to 2 projects. One of them now called and said, oh, we now have to shoot this week instead of next month. And you want to do both. Yeah. Again, it's about communication. I feel like sometimes, like, don't, as much as possible, as much as in your power, don't let either production suffer if you can. From an acting standpoint, it's hard because you can't give your best because your mind is literally, you're split on 2 different projects. So you can't always give your best. But I feel like it happens, and I get it. My thing is, don't be that actor who is always like, okay, we don't know if he's going to show up on time or not. It's like, if you've made a commitment, stick to your commitment. Yeah. And sometimes you may need, like, to protect your work ethic, you may need to say no to certain things. But I get it. I totally get it.
First and foremost, this is definitely an attack on my person. James. Okay, so there are 2 layers according to Tenny. There are 2 layers. First of all, so when I was auditioning for Ajoche, with James, I remember we had a conversation, and I was like, yo, there are 2 projects I'm definitely doing this year. One of them happened to be Rumor Has It Season 2, and second one was 7 with Tosinigo. And this was during the audition stage, and I said, I have signed up to do these 2 projects. So if that means I can't do yours, I mean, I've already signed with them, but if you really want me, then we can work around it. I said, cool, we'll get back to you. Luckily, I shot Rumor Has It before I started filming Ajoche. Then you took my beard away, James. And then, no, but that was for TMC. That was something else. So my beard started to grow back. So they actually moved shooting of 7 by 2 months because I had 0 facial hair. So it started coming back. I said, James, that project is around the corner. It was going to take longer than we thought. It was a nightmare. But my point is, I was honest about it. I didn't try to say I'm sick or I've traveled to London or something. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I said this is what it is. I mentioned this to you. Producers can talk about schedules. If I'm going to down the line and start being addicted to certain substances, painkillers and energy drinks. God, that was a horrible time in my life. But that's on me. Yeah. I want to do the work. Now the flip side is about performance. So I feel like you can't do 2 contrasting jobs. So let's say you're supposed to play Prince of Persia in Aladdin. You can't do that and then play Hannibal in Silence of the Lamb. I feel like I'll run mad doing both. But like with Adjocha now, I mean, I've been doing this for like a couple of months, so it was almost like, once I get to, I wear my skirt, and I don't do
right back.
I'm a different person, and the heat, snakes, and depression kind of helped with the other movie, so it kind of worked. But you as an actor, if you realize that these 2 things are 2 very contrasting things, I don't think, like you said, you can perform. But if they're both similar at the same time, I feel like they even kind of help. They kind of help both. For me, I felt like the fatigue from chasing that Joche on 7, which, oh God, I didn't just let it out. But there are some certain characteristics I carried from a Joche into it that worked. That worked. There's one in particular, the limp. The limp kind of helps with the fatigue. But anyway, watch it.
Fun fact, Effa used to wake up in his house and just used to limp randomly.
Yeah, like no, but it's horrible. Do you know, even till now, like once I'm tired and the fatigue sets in, my brain reverts back to that. Sometimes you just see me limping. And people are like, are you why? I'm like crap.
Anyway,
so sometimes it bees like that.
All right, thank you guys so much. My producer Tenny has been on my neck.
Time's up.
Ethan just sent me a text. He's like, "Yo, guy, call your gate. I'm at the gate." Yo, fuck you, E. I'm sure you're in my house right now. What? Yeah. Obviously, I mean, he had to go to work. Actually, that's why he came late. But we've missed Ethan for like 2 episodes. I think he's still like. I don't know if he's in the house. He's here. Yeah, shout his name now. Let's go and say. Let's go and sign out on the episode. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for coming through. We actually had a. Can you still? Yeah, Ethan, still. Eh? Okay. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for. I mean, we had this lovely conversation. I feel like you know.
Being political.
Yeah, you guys are being.
No. To be honest, no. People know that I'm a tout. I don't.
Jay, do you have something for them? Like, no. Okay. Because I feel like
was that being
really
political?
Yeah.
How? That's what I'm telling you. That's where I am. Like, I don't have. See, I don't have time. See,
there's something I wanted to say on this podcast. I know the person doesn't watch the podcast, but there's a certain actor I wanted to get. Were you demonstrating the? No. Okay, no. A certain actor that Elma doesn't like that I would have
It's
loved.
okay.
I was just gonna bring her on. What? She's not gonna watch it. Oh my gosh. She'll be like, hello? You talked about me. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, Adela. Thank you so much for coming, Effa. Go and fight your fight. We'll see you. Effa, do you know what I'm talking about?
Who? I can't read it. I don't know what you're talking about him.
You know what? I'll say the name, but I'll bleep it. Okay. So don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to follow us on the industry_JO. Don't forget to email us if you have any questions for the actors. I'm going to put Ade and Effa's Instagram handles.
Thank you. I need the followers.
So they can catch me.
That's it. Meanwhile, one last thing. Did we talk about it on the last podcast? I can't remember the TMC event that all the girls wanted to die for Effa.
I was there in your day.
I was the same Effa. Yeah,
film
we
show.
talked about it last week. I think we said it there. We talked about it last week. Yeah, fine.
It's film show.
You're done for. I just want to let you know.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Next week, we will. Oh, by the time this episode comes out, Unbroken will already be showing on Monday. So please catch it at 8 o'clock every day, Monday to Saturday. My phone. You just said my phone, James. You want to take a picture? All right, thank you. So yeah, Monday to Saturday, the show is gonna be on. I hope you're watching it at day. I watched Hush, so you better watch that show. Did you watch that, Jojo?
I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. It's really bad.
Yeah, I heard you saying something like that downstairs. Why?
I barely watch Hush.
Do you do like Netflix and?
Yeah.
What's your favorite show on Netflix?
Right now, I just finished the Idris Elba one.
I've only watched like 3 episodes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I just finished that.
Yeah.
But did you like it?
I liked it. It was quirky.
I think we should give her Dr.
It was
Foster.
quirky. I
Tell
liked
me.
it.
I think you should watch Dr. Foster. It's crazy. If you have a high, I said if you have a high drive. I'm not a pirate. Oh, sorry. It's 55 minutes. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, guys. Subscribe. Click the notification bell. You know how we do it. See you next week, Wednesday. Goodbye.